Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're well. I hope all is well with you. This morning, we're going to start the morning with a children's book. Why? Because I found it on my shelf and I forgot that I had it. And I love it. It's one of my favorite children's books and it's short. And so I thought I would read it to you before we start our chicken fat. Good morning, Lee. How are you? So we're going to read the story of Ferdinand, and then we're going to do our chicken fat, and then we're going to do our meditation. I love this story. It was one of my favorites growing up, and I forgot that I had it. It's so beautiful. All right. So, once upon a time in Spain. There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He just liked to sit and just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fattest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping so the men would think that they were very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on a nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him, and that is what the bee did to Ferdinand. Wow, did it hurt! Ferdinand jumped up with a snort and ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So, they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a day it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade in the bull ring. First came the bandoleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandoleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair and just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the bandoleros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy. Anyway, so I think Siri heard me say something. All right. So that was our morning read this morning, or our weekly morning read. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's a beautiful story about perhaps young people who aren't like everybody else, and that's okay. And I think we can all be who we are and be proud of who we are, no matter what. All right? All right, now, let's wake up and do a little chicken fat, and then we're going to meditate, and we'll get our week going, okay? Have a little tea, have a little something to drink, and then we'll get the party started. Okay, here we go. Everybody stand up.
Touchdown every morning, 10 times, not just now and then. Give that chicken fat back to the chicken and don't be chicken again. No, don't be chicken again.
Remember the last note, you have to sing and hold it out.
Push up.
Push up.
Every morning, 10 times push up. Starting low. Once more on the rise, next to the flapping eyes. Go, you chicken fat, go away. Go, you chicken fat, go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Touch your hips, please. Now then, touch your toes with me. Ready. Touchdown. Up, every down. 10 times, not just now and then. Fill that chicken fat sacks to the chicken and say, eat chicken again. No, don't eat chicken again. Hump. Get the dirt.
Back down to the push-ups.
Push-ups next, nice and steady, not too fast. Ready. Push up. Now, every morning, 10 times. Push up. Start very low. Down, that's 5 more. Now the rise shuts through the valley dive. Go, chicken fat, go away now. Go, you chicken fat, go. Now scrub up to your feet. Scrub. March in place. March. Left. That's the good pound and a quarter. Was it right? Right that it should be left. Yes, I left the good pound and a quarter. It was right, left, straight along. 1, 2, next, sit-ups. Everybody sit up. So on your back, drop. All right, girls, we're in this too. Arms overhead, flop. Come on, girls. Now, sit up. Sit down. Everyone, 10 times. Sit up. Down. On your feet. Down. Swing that rusty gate. Don't drop the tempo mate. Can't win, dragging your feet. No, can't win, dragging your feet. Now your feet up. Everybody, ready. Hands on hips. Place. Twist your trunk to the left. Ready. Twist left. Front. Now the right side. 10 times. Twist left. Front. Right. Front. Grunt. Louder. Front. Now left and front. And then everybody say, go you chicken fat, go. Fingers back of your neck. Lace, right foot forward. Place the pogo spring, landing on alternate feet. Ready. Spring left, spring right. Higher, higher. Up, down. Higher, higher. Wait, not too high. Up, down. Halt. Rub your hands to the side, feet together. Place, overhead clap and jump to stride. Known as the jumping jack, far and wide. All right, are you ready? Ready. Jump, 2, clap, 2, clap, 2, clap, slap, clap, slap, jump, 2, jump. It's good for you. 3 more is all we do. 3, pause and sing. Go, you chicken fat, go. Left.
Forget your outside.
Left. Left it good. Pound in the corner. What's it right? Oh, why left. Left it good. Pound in the corner. It was right. Left and halt. 1, 2. Palms up, arms to the side. Raise. Next we're gonna do backward circles. Ready. Circle round. Back and around. And reverse around. Front and around. And halt. Arms to the side. Place on your back. Drop. And now raise your legs in the air. Raise. It's the bicycle ride. And pump. And pump. On your feet. Up. Quickly. Next. Inhale, arms. Sweep up inward. Exhale, arms out and down. Inhale, arms. Sweep up inward. Exhale, outward, down. Ready. Inhale. Slow. Exhale. Clear now. Inhale. Take the air. Down and around. And inhale. Oxygen. Exhale. You're not getting your share. Inhale. Run it down. Halt. The tortoise and the hare. Next. First the tortoise. Bend the elbow and run in place. Ready. Run. 2.
All that balance.
Like a tortoise. Okay. 2 more. And too slow. Now double up. Ready. Run. 2, 3, 4. Run. 2, 3, 4. Run. 2, 3, 4.
Hold the snow down nice and long.
Everybody sing.
Go, you chicken fat, go.
Dismissed.
Whew. Good morning to you. Whew, my goodness. Oh, wow. Sweating. That's good, though. We got to wake ourselves up. It's Monday. We got to get ready for the week. Holy moly. Okay, get yourself something to drink. Some tea, some water, whatever you need. And so that we're able to focus in and dig into our 6 questions for the day, for the week. Super important. Make sure that you create your space with your talismans or your whatever you need to create your space in the moment. There we go. I'm ready for this. Let me tell you. Whew. Okay. So you sit with your legs crossed. Make sure you have a nice hard pillow under your butt and your tuchus. And remember, if you have your touchstones, I'm going to sneeze. Ready? Whew, goodness gracious. to create your space. There you have it. To remind you what you need to be reminded of every day. Let me start my music for us.
How do kids really feel
We have a
about
little
their
commercial
moms?
first.
You could either have this beautiful bouquet of flowers.
There we go. Alrighty, my friends. So, all that energy that we just put into it, let's move it into meditation so we can focus in. Sorry, I don't usually do this in cheese. It's bunching up. There we go. All right. Let's scan our body a little bit and think about things going soft and nice and easy. Make sure that our spine is elongated and erect. It's a little string pulling up from the back of our head to the top of the ceiling. Okay. Remember, if you can't sit like this, that's fine. You can sit on a chair, put your feet on the floor, flat on the floor, connect to the earth. All right, my friends. So let's just take a deep breath in together. We're going to breathe in on 5, and we're going to breathe out on 7. And while we do, let our weekend disappear. Let what we have to get done this week disappear, and just be right here in this very moment. Take a deep breath in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And another deep breath in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time when you breathe out, let it all out with a sigh so your voice knows that you're calming as well. Breathe in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And with a sigh on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. And just let your breath go to normal pace. Don't help it or hinder it. Before we go into our 6 questions today, beginning of our week, to remind us of what we need to work on for the whole week, I want us to think about our meditation practice. Think of it as being a river, right? You're part of that river. And the water that flows through the river, it goes to the easiest path. I think often when we get into meditation, we think, oh, this is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult to sit with myself for a moment. But if we think about it, the easiest path is actually just that. Just sitting with ourselves. If we can do it for a minute, then we can do it for another minute. And if we can do it for that minute, then we can do it for the next minute. Just like a molecule of water, when it goes down through the river, it finds the easiest path. It goes around the rocks. It doesn't try to burrow through anything, so that it can follow the river into the sea. And that's all we have to do as well. Find the easiest path and focus on us for a while. While we do that, we're going to go through our 6 questions for this week. I want you to think about the first question and really breathe it in. You're just going to focus in it for a minute. What am I grateful for today? That's our first question. Always our first question. What am I grateful for today? Breathe it in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What am I grateful for today? Just focus on that for a little while. Our second question. Who am I connecting with or checking in on today? This is so important, not only for our own body, but for those around us that need a little attention. Who am I checking in with or connecting with today? Breathe it in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Who am I connecting with or checking in on today? And remember, when the monkey mind comes in, all you have to do is accept it, dismiss it, and come back to your breath and your question. Who am I connecting with and checking in on today? Question number 3, what am I letting go of today? What am I letting go of today? Breathe that in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What am I letting go of today? My fourth question is, how am I getting outside today? I know it's difficult in this time, but you can do it. I know what I'm doing today. I'm very excited about being able to get outside for a little bit today. So breathe that question in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How am I getting outside today? Number 5, how am I moving my body today? You already did a little bit of it today, and you did some chicken fat with us. So figure out how you're moving your body today and taking care of you. Breathe in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How am I moving my body today? Your mind goes somewhere else. Just bring it back to your breath and your current question. Last but certainly not least, what beauty am I either creating, cultivating, or inviting in today? What beauty am I either creating, cultivating, or inviting in today? Breathe that in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And out on 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You have a moment, feel it's time, bring yourself back into the room, nice and slow. Blink your eyes open. Be so grateful that you have today, that you have this morning. Bow to yourself, bow to each other. Stay. I hope you have the most wonderful mornings, my friends. Feeling very nostalgic today for some reason. I don't know why. Stretch out your body a little bit. Thinking about things. That's why I read Ferdinand to you this morning. So it was my book that my mother and I used to read together when I was a kid. I encourage it. It's a beautiful book. Letting you know that it's okay to be a little different. It's okay to be just you. You don't have to be like everybody else. And I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you very much.